Bachelorette Los Angeles 2024.
Welcome. Oh, hi there. How are you? We've missed you, even though it's only been a week. Welcome to Out on the Lanai, the only Golden Girls podcast you're ever going to need to listen to. I am Sir HAlanScott and Dame Sadie Pines.
Ooh, I like that one. I'm Dame Kerri Doherty, and today we're doing a Beyond Golden Girls episode where we cover the many film and TV projects that the women did outside of the Golden Girls during the course of their illustrious careers. And keeping with the festive spirit of the holiday season,
It's the holiday season.
Whoop-de-doo. We just watched B. Arthur dress up like Santa Claus in a season 4 episode of Maude called The Christmas Party.
Oh my God. So fun. I mean, we've all seen Maude before. I mean, if you're listening to this podcast, I'm shocked if you've never seen an episode of Maude. And we've covered it on the podcast before, but this one was fun.
This one was so fun. It was such a simple story. There
so
were like
Christmassy.
2 scenes.
Yeah.
So Christmassy.
I mean, and we get B. Arthur in Santa Claus outfit.
Yes, and Rue McClanahan in the most stunning green. She was giving me Wicked vibes with that green, that emerald green, flowy sheer dress. Oh, don't worry, everybody. We have a clip later so you can see all of these outfits.
I need to talk to you about holiday parties because I went to a holiday party. We'll talk about it after we do the business. Here, you do the business first, and then we'll talk about it.
I'll do the business, and then you and I have to catch up because you and I haven't taled in a couple weeks, so we'll catch up. I know, it's so crazy.
Well, we communicated, but we haven't talked in person.
Yes, we haven't spoken like this face to face. So lots of fun stuff happening over in the GG VIP Club this week. First, for the Rusty Anchor Happy Hour, we're watching, to me, this is a holiday video. It is the Men of Blanche's boudoir scene, but it's the rehearsal where the crew made the calendar and of themselves, and the women are all laughing.
So funny. I love when straight men get naked for a good cause. You know what I mean? I'm assuming back then most of the crew was probably straight. And if you're going to get naked for a bunch of ladies for a good cause or for a laugh, please, if you're listening and you're straight, do that. But do it with consent. Do it with consent.
Yes. Yeah. So we're going to watch that, break down what the women like to wear during rehearsal days. And then we're going to talk about what a Golden Girls calendar, what we think it would look like if the women sort of posed in gorgeous, suggestive ways. I have so many thoughts about that already. I have thoughts. Also happening this month in the GG VIP Club this Sunday, not this Sunday, it's a few weeks from now, Sunday, December 29th, we're going to do another live watch-along party at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So mark it on your calendars, but we'll do tons of posts. We'll put up episodes for people to vote on. So that'll be like a fun end-of-year bash for all of us to hang out together. And then lastly, a reason to sign up for the GG VIP Club over at patreon.com/Golden Girls Podcast is now is the time when people are buying shit for friends, for family. It's the holiday season. For free on our GG VIP Club, we have a collection called Our Favorite Golden Girls Things. And it's basically like a Golden Girls gift guide for all the people in your life. We do like one post a week of all the cool Golden Girls stuff out there. Clothing, calendars, dolls, Legos, everything, games. So join just to check that out and check out the other stuff too. But that's free to go to.
And that's all you. I'm going to give you your flowers for that. That's all Kerri. Kerri curates that because that would stress me out. So,
and I just posted one today. Someone on Etsy actually made a Men of Blanche's boudoir calendar, like Jake is September. You know what I mean? So somebody actually made it, and I posted that today. I was so excited. I know Jake. I feel like Jake has to be like July because you sweat and you need to fan yourself.
I mean, Michael is still my number one, always and forever. He's my fantasy. He's my dream. But Jake's my filthy party. Like Michael is my love interest for life. Like Michael is my love. Michael's not stable, but he would be my stability. Whereas Jake would be my, please just hold me and call me a bitch.
How many times do you think your actual partner, Michael, overhears you talking about Dorothy's son, Michael, and is like, oh, that's so sweet. They're saying that about me. And
No,
then,
that's not
no,
Michael.
you're
No,
not.
that's
You're
not us.
talking about Dorothy's Michael.
We like to rib each other so much that like that it'd be more absurd for me to be sweet and actually talk about my Michael rather than, you know what I mean? Like that's how we are. Our sarcasm is our love language.
I love that.
Yeah. How are you doing? You're right. It has been a few weeks. I should explain first off my hair, because I'm wearing my hair differently. For anyone watching on the Patreon or the YouTubes, I'm doing my hair differently right now because, and this is also an announcement for everyone out there, all of the beautiful GGVIP members in this world listening to this podcast right now. I went to the dermatologist for a general checkup and get a refill of my thing, and she was there and she was looking at a spot, and this is how ridiculous I am. This is how vain I am, and you all know how vain I am. Like Kerri knows, I like to look a certain way. And I had a mark on my forehead, nothing crazy, but it was like a red mark. And I assumed it was from, and I get Botox and stuff, but I assumed it was from not getting enough Botox because it was near a line in my forehead. So I assumed it was an indent, like a deep indent from a line in my forehead that was just causing redness. Nope, precancerous. So they had to like zap that whole area off. So that's why I'm wearing my hair like Jackie in on Roseanne when she colored her hair. She colored her hair blonde for a role. Laurie Metcalf was doing a movie, I think, and she had to have blonde hair. But the character also had it, and it was like crimped and curly and stuff. So I decided I'm just going to live for this December going into January when I have this mark on my forehead and I can only put makeup on like 3/4 of my face because of it, that I'm going to have the Jackie hair. I highlighted my hair recently, so it's more blonde. So it's very Jackie like that moment. And it was very curly and crazy, her hair. So I figured I'm going to go curly and crazy too to hide my precancerous sap. That's why I look this way.
Well, I always think that your hair looks gorgeous, and you know I love the curls. So I'm here for it, and I accept your vanity.
I feel chaotic. Out of sorts. I feel like a mess right now, but that's okay. That's okay because I've discovered, and this isn't on theme for this episode, Christmas parties, holiday parties. I've been going to a few. I've had a few. I don't go to a lot of holiday parties. I'm not a holiday party person. I'm not a party person in general, unless I'm getting paid or I'm in drag, which is usually why I'm getting paid. I don't show up to places like that. I just don't do it. I'm not, unless it's like, you know, if you and Stan invited me to, like, you were having a holiday party, I'd go. I would go because you're family. Most other people, not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I wish we were having a holiday party. We're probably not. But if we do, I'll invite you. Maybe we'll just have you and Michael over. That would be nice.
Please. We're around, but I did go to one. I went to one this weekend. A good friend of mine, John Polly, he is one of the producers on Drag Race, and he has sort of an annual holiday party every year. And I ran into someone who listens to the podcast. So I was talking to John in the hallway. It was like a big gay party. And the chaos of my hair and my life is actually very appropriate for holiday parties, I found, because it just gives me something to talk about. It gives me something to gesticulate about and be dramatic about, and then it starts conversations and advocacy too for getting precancerous marks checked. Anyway, so I was talking
to the dermatologist once a year.
Go to the dermatologist. So I was talking to John, and as I was talking to John, a listener of this podcast overheard my voice. I don't believe they've seen me. Maybe I could be wrong. His name's Jake. Hello, Jake. Thank you for listening.
Hi, Jake.
I don't believe.
Do you have a nose tattoo on your arm by any chance? Sorry, go on.
No, he doesn't. But he recognized me from my voice to the podcast. I think he only saw me as Sadie before because he came to the live show too here in Los Angeles, he said. But anyway, I love it. It makes me think of those moments that you've had it too, I think. I mean, I think probably not as much as me because I'm like out, like I'm here, like I'm saying, like I'm loud. I'm obnoxious, basically, is what I'm saying. So people hear my voices often in situations. But I get recognized from my voice more than I do my face.
Mm-hmm.
Does that happen to you?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. It does. As a podcaster, you'd think there were podcasts that I would listen to for years without knowing what the people looked like. And it was really fun when you finally see them to be like, oh, that's the face to the voice. Yeah. It's actually like a really fun discovery. Well, I forget, did you end up, because we haven't, even though we released an episode last week, we haven't spoken since before Thanksgiving. Did you go to Disney?
We did,
for
yes.
Thanksgiving?
On Thanksgiving, my childhood best friend came out for literally like 24 hours, her and her mother, who's also like a family friend. And we went to Disney for the day for Thanksgiving and just had Thanksgiving in Disney. And it was wonderful. It was actually more crowded than I expected, even though we've done it before. I remember it being less crowded. It was more crowded this year, but it was fun. It was cute. We had a nice little Thanksgiving dinner at Plaza Inn, and I got a Hanukkah mug. I'll show it to y'all on the camera, the people who are watching. Little Hanukkah mug.
Oh, that's really nice.
Fun.
Oh, I love that.
And I know, right? Sweet. And they're hugging in the back, and it says Happy Hanukkah. And for all my Jewish friends this year, Hanukkah, the first night of Hanukkah starts on Christmas Day this year. So
wow,
if you're with a mixed crowd, you can have a nice sort of like communal holiday experience together this year, which is lovely. But yeah, no, it was nice. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was good. So little Oreo and I were on the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
We were in New Jersey at Stan's parents' house, and they don't cook. Like they cook, but like not much. They'll like pop something in the air fryer. My mother-in-law hates cooking. I love cooking. I was like,
love Stan's
let me
mother-in-law.
brine
I've never
a turkey.
met her, but I love her.
You'd love her. You'd love her so much. She's the best. So I said, I love to cook. I said, please let me cook a Thanksgiving dinner. And they kept asking me, they're like, do you need help? And I was like, no. So I made a big Thanksgiving dinner. Our morning started with little Oreo on the couch in her PJs watching Dada on TV, which was really, really sweet.
How did she's seen him on TV before?
It's weirdly, it's not like a thing for her, only because she looks at like videos of us on her phone. You know what I mean? Like she's used to seeing.
Yeah.
She likes to watch video.
She doesn't know that her father's kind of famous.
She doesn't know that her dad, like, I think it's just like a bigger phone to her.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
That. Well, I can't
but it was
wait
very
for the
sweet.
moment
She went, that's Dada. It was
when
really
she
sweet.
discovers that like her parents are known. Like that must be a trip. I mean, I have friends who have like famous friends who have children, but like they're all around little Oreo's age. You know what I mean? Like Alana Glazer's who I'm talking about. Her kid is the same age as Oreo.
Exactly. Yeah. Her child and little Oreo were born on the same exact day. Yeah.
And Michelle Buteau has children, of course, a good friend of mine. But like I love that. But all of them are so young that I don't think any of the kids know that their parents are famous yet. Like that connection isn't there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I don't know. I don't know that I'd say like recognizable. I wouldn't say the word famous necessarily, but definitely recognizable.
But
yes, absolutely. It was really, really fun. Stan had a great time with all the Macy's people, and obviously like, he got to see some of the parade. It was downpouring, but he did get to watch some of the parade.
I sent you that video of my time at Macy's here at the Glendale Galleria, where I did not see Stan's face on an advertisement in the Macy's store. And I wanted everyone to know. So I did a video of how angry I was.
Yes, you did. You sent me a little angry video.
It's very angry.
On what B. Arthur would have called an advertisement.
Yes. He wasn't there.
But yes, we had a very, very nice trip. We just got back yesterday. Oh my God, we just got back yesterday. It was wild. Little Oreo went back to preschool today. Her sleep schedule's all off. She was up at 4:30 this morning because she's still on East Coast time. So that was a trip.
Yeah.
But I went to bed at 6:30 the night before, which was last night. Oh my gosh. It's been decades.
So you haven't been to any holiday parties then? That's
no.
None.
Our friends are throwing a little like gathering, a holiday gathering. So I'm going to go to that tomorrow night. But last year they had Christmas carolers, and I remember we talked about this because I loved the Christmas carolers, and the face that you're making reminds me of your response.
Well, also,
to when
Arthur in this episode is my response to carolers. Like what Maude does in this episode is my response to carolers. Please leave.
Yeah, no, I liked the carolers, and so I don't know if they're going to have carolers again. I don't know how big of a get together it's going to be, but I don't know.
Fun.
I don't have anything interesting to say about holiday parties, I guess.
Well, this episode did get me thinking about sort of like myself at holiday parties, and I don't necessarily enjoy them. And the holiday party that Maude throws, she really throws for her husband because it's his like office holiday party, essentially.
Yeah.
is it also does not seem like a fun party. Although, even though I don't particularly care about the holiday party, I do love a party that it has a recognizable theme. So you know what you're expecting going in. There's no real stress about dressing a certain way because everyone knows how to dress for the holidays. There's like a thing, unless someone's doing an annoying thing like ugly sweater party, then that puts stress onto the dress. But other than that, like it's you can approach a holiday party in a way that is rational. And that I like the merriment that can come from being festive, because what I like to do at a holiday party is I like to be the one who's sort of like funnily, is that a word? Whatever it will be. Funnily annoying. Meaning that like I'm kind of a Scrooge, but in like but I'll still eat that cookie way. You know what I mean?
You're like a charming Scrooge.
Yes, I'm a charming Scrooge with great hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that vibe. I want to talk about this episode. We also have a lot of clips to show. So
let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's take a break and come back and talk about the Maude Christmas party episode.
Oh, we'll be right back. Happy holidays.
So to just give everybody kind of an overview of this episode, it's Christmas. Maude has a friend in town, Stephanie. She's this super liberal feminist, wonderful, wonderful woman. They're like best friends. Their vibe is basically like
they went
Dorothy
to high school together.
They went to high school together. It's like Dorothy and Trudy, but there's no like backhanded compliments and there's no competitive side. But other than that,
what it kind of reminded me of the friendship a little bit. It was a little bit mix of, yes, Trudy. I definitely feel the Trudy, but also oh God. Oh my God, why am I blanking on the author? Help me.
Barbara Thorndike.
There was a little Barbara Thorndike energy, not in her politics, but in the way she conducted herself, kind of way.
Yes, she was very impressed by Stephanie and very proud of her accomplishments.
Yes.
So while Stephanie is in town, Walter is going to be having a Christmas party for his employees, a company Christmas party at the house. And he's worried that Stephanie's kind of super feminist talking points are going to put a damper on the party. And that makes Stephanie feel like a man is trying to silence her. So she doesn't really like that. Yeah, I know the face that you're making. And then Maude is basically stuck in the middle.
No, it makes me think of, because I have friends that are like this, because I mean, I feel like when you have colorful people in your life, creative people, artists, people in your life, sometimes those people, you kind of have to explain to other groups of friends the type of person they are. So you have to like prepare everyone for the friend they're about to meet. I have so many friends that are like that. And it can be complicated to have them as friends because you love them, but at the same time, you shouldn't have to explain people's behavior to people, you know?
And we'll play a clip later, but I actually think the way that Maude handled everything, she handled it so well.
Well, there's a reason why that woman was elected to Congress or whatever she was elected to. Like that, she was rational.
She was very, very rational. Well, so that's the overview of the story. The episode starts, we're literally going to play the very, very beginning of the episode because it starts with Maude and Carol decorating their Christmas tree and they're having a little like fa la 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 sing off, which feels like something that Dorothy Zbornak might have done at a party. But this whole bit, like I feel like I'm watching Dorothy in this moment. So we have to, and it ends with a very funny joke.
It's Maude and the actress who plays her daughter, Adrienne Barbeau.
Yes, Carol.
Classic Carol. She's an incredible woman. Here, let's play the clip. Here's the clip.
We now are gay apparel. Fa la 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 la. To roll the ancient Yuletide carol. Fa la 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 la. Fa la 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 la. Fa la la. Fa la la la. Oh, Carol, what the fa la la are we doing?
yes, Carol, Adrienne Barbeau. I mean, Adrienne Barbeau in general, we need to talk a little bit more about because, like, that woman, that actress is incredible, and she went on from Maude to be in a lot of. I mean, she was in Back to School, Escape from New York, The Fog. I mean, she did things. She's also, I believe, a breast cancer survivor. She like really is just sort of an all around Hollywood A+ like cool girl. You know what I mean?
And someone who remained very close with B. Arthur.
Yes, up until the end. I mean, even when Maude came out on DVD, they went on The View. I think it was Maude on DVD, but they went on The View, and it was, and at that point, B, I think her eyesight was bad, and she was just very helpful to B, and just like a good person. God, Adrienne Barbeau, love.
I know, so talented, great singer.
Yeah.
Watching the scene too, it really made me miss the Christmas decorations of the 70s and 80s, like the gold garland, the tinsel, the big bright colored lights. Have you ever strung cranberries and popcorn together and put them on a Christmas tree? It's really hard. I did it once when I was a kid with my grandmother.
No, we buy that stuff. It is, we are this ever since Reagan. We're capitalism. No, we're going to buy that garland. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I stringing together cranberries and popcorn. I remember doing it with like literally a needle and thread. And the cranberries, I didn't have like a thimble, so I would like hurt my thumb trying to push it through the cranberry, and then you put it in the popcorn, and the popcorn would just break in half.
How do you do it without eating all of it? I mean, the cranberries would be gross, but how do you do it without eating all the popcorn?
I don't know. Probably because like everybody's hands were in the bowl, and I was like, "Oh, it's kind of dirty now." I don't know.
Still eat it.
Maybe I ate the popcorn. I don't remember.
I love popcorn.
Yeah. Oh, popcorn's so good. I love like an herby, like rosemary popcorn. Salt.
Okay, you're getting crazy now. You're getting crazy.
Okay. Well, all right. I also loved. There was a great joke. It was such like a thinker joke where Maude was talking about the song 12 Days of Christmas. And she's like, I'll never forget the lines, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings. That has to be real painful. And I was like, oh, that's funny. I'd never thought of that when I listened to the song before. 6 geese laying 5 golden rings. I was like, oh, that's a funny way to interpret that song.
What's so interesting about Maude in general, and we've talked about Maude before on this podcast, but it was such a smart show. And almost to the point where it never, even in this episode, it's so emblematic of like, they're talking about big topics, like the discussions that were happening, I believe, in America at the time, that people were having these kind of conversations. But at the same time, it made it relatable. I mean, it's the brilliance of Norman Lear, but it made it relatable in a way that like, I didn't feel like in a lot of ways, like if this show was happening today and God, the where the imagination could go with Maude had to contend with Donald Trump as president. But Maude, like a Trump supporter, or like if it was modern day, could watch Maude and still get something out of it. And that's the brilliance of a Norman Lear show, particularly with Maude and All in the Family and other shows, Jeffersons, where you can really, I mean, it really is approachable, but yet also revolutionary.
Who do you think would play Maude today? Rosie O'Donnell was just immediately popped in my head, but
no, I mean, I don't know why I go here. I do love her, but I feel like I go here primarily because of her height and her demeanor. But I often just think Allison Janney can play every single B. Arthur part.
Of course, Allison Janney can do anything.
And turn it into, give it that B. Arthur singular essence.
Actually, now that you say Allison Janney, I can really picture Allison Janney
has that essence where she brings her own thing to a role and it makes it so that no one else can play it, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of vibes, when we meet Stephanie, who is played by an actor, Neva Patterson, just theater, did a bunch of TV, bunch of movies.
I mean, she was in All the President's Men, An Affair to Remember, I think. Like, she's done things.
She was giving me like Julie Louis-Dreyfus vibes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
She was kind of giving me, well, yeah, I can see that Julie Louis-Dreyfus vibes. I mean, she was definitely a confident actress in the role.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, and she held her own.
Yeah.
Because, she was playing a character that was very similar to Maude, but she was sort of
close. I mean, they were like, she had, I imagine it probably as an actor would have been difficult to just casually act against B. Arthur because she is such a singular personality and probably sucks up the energy around everybody else around her. I mean, your eyes go to B. Arthur. It just does. So to be able to act for a guest role, like, you know?
I was also wondering if her and B. Arthur knew each other from the theater days, because when they were like, and I don't know, maybe they're just both really good actors, but when they were kind of joking and laughing, we were getting, you know, B does that real kind of hearty, like higher register laughter where she goes like, ah, ha, ha. I can't do it. Sorry. That just killed everybody's ears. But like, you know, the same laugh when Rose tells the great herring war story and everybody thinks the scene is improvised because the women are so natural at laughing. Like acting. That is, she was doing that laugh. And I was like, no, these really, you know, they feel so like,
good. They're so good.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's see. Oh, so Stephanie is, you know, when she's sort of interacting with Walter and like Maude's grandson, you're sort of seeing this like very super kind of hyper aware feminist side come out. Like the grandson comes in and he's like, oh yeah, me and my friend were like building snowmen outside. And she's like, you know, you could be building snow women too.
Yeah.
And the little boy's like, yeah, I don't know, like if our mom's gonna like us like making snow tits and stuff, like.
Yeah, and also like they make a joke about Maude's brassiere being big, and I mean it's funny. It's a funny beat, but also too like you know, Maude's husband Walter, played by Bill Macy, saying things like we'll see you guys or whatever, like the casual reference of the use of the word guys. And what I thought was so amazing about this Stephanie character is that, again, I wasn't alive at the time because I'm only 28, but I imagine that regular people probably did have to contend with sometimes people who would constantly be being the PC police or correcting people. And she's not wrong to do it. She's making a very valid point that, yes, we should use gender neutral things and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But there's a way in which you can do it that isn't necessarily isolating to the people who are receiving your message, because then no one receives your message. That said,
yes, I
bet people were dealing with that a lot in this time period, a lot, especially in big cities.
And Walter, you know, again, their concern is coming down to the fact that Walter is having this company Christmas party, and he's like, you know, my employees don't really feel comfortable with that kind of stuff.
And employees, we find out, are sexist fucks, though.
Oh my God. So Maude says, for most of his employees, women's lib is allowing their wives to drive them home from a party after they've passed out in the front seat. So like just to give Stephanie kind of a, you know, like a, you know, sort of take her temperature on it. And then, like you said, it sort of escalates when Walter's like, you know, thanks, Stephanie, you're a good guy. And she like lays into him about how sexist it is to call women guys. And it's like really escalating. This is just the whole first act of this sitcom is this conversation. It's like meeting Stephanie, getting to know their dynamic.
And Maude's just in the middle. Maude is just in the middle.
Stuck in the middle.
Yeah.
And I feel like, go ahead.
No, I was saying Maude is sort of oddly not the radical one here. She's the rational one. She's the one.
That's what I was going to say.
Trying to keep peace. Yeah.
This is almost like, this is what I'm sure happened on All in the Family when Maude would come to visit, right? Where Edith is the Maude. Yep. Edith is the one who's stuck in the middle, and then you have Maude and Archie on either side. So now it's Maude's turn to be stuck in the middle, and it's sort of at the end of the first act. The tension has escalated between Walter and Stephanie, and Maude sort of like she kind of reaches her breaking point where she just wants to keep the peace between them, and of course ends up getting like really angry herself. But I want to play this moment because it involves two of my favorite B. Arthur things, which is her slamming a door and saying, "Shut up."
Yeah, let's play it.
Tonight is Christmas Eve, and it is the happiest Christmas Eve of my life because I'm full of love for you, Stephanie, and I'm full of love for you, Walter, and if either of you takes a step toward that door, I'll rip your heart out.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas.
Oh, shut up.
Well, I also loved at the end of the clip, B. Arthur's doing a face. I mean, you hope you're watching this for this one, but you can watch on Patreon and hopefully on YouTube. YouTube sometimes, I will say, if you watch our episodes on YouTube, because of copyright stuff, sometimes the clips aren't displayed. So just be aware of that. So join our Patreon to see the full thing. But B. Arthur does this face at the end where she's like, shut up to the carolers. She shuts the door and then she goes, like she's casting a spell on them. Her hands are in the air.
Yeah, like I was like, she looks like she's getting ready to do like kung fu fighting. I wasn't.
And then it's just a long pause. It is so funny. It is so worth it to watch just for that. It is so good.
Oh, it is so funny.
Wait,
this episode is also on YouTube that you can watch.
Yes, it's a very bad version on YouTube.
Bad version,
but you can watch it. We should take a break though and come back with more.
Great, because this is going to be Act 2 of the episode. Perfect
we timed
timing.
it perfectly. Oh, shut up.
So now we're at the holiday party, and Maude is kind of policing Stephanie. She's like really keeping an eye on her.
The high maintenance friend. The high maintenance friend. I had to once. I was at a party with a high maintenance friend, and I had to say, "Oh well, I'll give you a ride home because I think I'm gonna go home. I think I'm pretty tired." And then I took that friend home, and then I went back to the party.
You did?
Back to the party because my friend was so high maintenance that I had to get rid of them in order to have fun at the party.
Wow. Oh,
Yep.
I have 2 guesses as to who this person could be, and
You know who it is. You know who.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. That's rough. So you've been in Maude's shoes.
Yes, I have.
So I can understand.
But never in a Santa costume. Never in a Santa costume.
Never in a Santa costume. Not yet, anyway.
Yeah.
So, like, again, there's a moment where, there's a woman who's basically says, like, Maude offers her food and she refuses. And she's like, my husband says if I gain 1 more pound, he's going to trade me in for a younger version.
Which is
and
disgusting.
I can understand, yes, disgusting, but I can understand Maude not wanting Stephanie to say anything to her. Like, that's really not your place.
Yeah.
So fine, police her in those moments. However, there is a man who slaps Stephanie on the ass.
Insane.
Like,
insane.
Don't police her on that. Let her be angry and be like, hey, don't touch my body, my man.
Yeah.
So
maybe.
I could understand Maude's policing of her behavior in some instances,
or
not in others.
There's an instance where there's a woman who is very clearly sexually free and loves the attention of men and is not necessarily, I mean, I think I would argue she is still a feminist by owning her sexuality. And
she's the Blanche of the party.
Exactly. And Stephanie has a problem with her too. And so, like, it kind of, there does seem to be there seems to be a lot of conviction behind Stephanie's beliefs, but also they kind of blind her to being rational and like understanding people and seeing that sometimes the thing that you think is repressing someone is actually liberating them.
Mm-hmm.
Deep. Do you see what I just did there?
Deep. You guys didn't know we were going to get philosophical tonight on Out in the Lanai, but that's right.
Wow. This is essentially a Tony Robbins episode of something. I don't know what he does now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is our TED Talk. This is our Maude Talk.
Yes.
So the party gets even more tense. This is where I liked where this story went. So then Vivian shows up. And Maude introduces her to Stephanie as her best friend, and she introduces Vivian to Stephanie as her other best friend.
For everyone. Yeah, Vivian's Rue McClanahan. Yes.
So, and from the women's reactions, you can tell that neither one wants to play second fiddle. Yeah. So now Maude is stuck in the middle of this conflict too, of the two of them being like, wait, who's your best friend?
Rue McClanahan literally had 4 seconds in this episode, and she gets an applause break from her 4 seconds.
I'm getting, you see my goosebumps? I'm getting goosebumps thinking about her performance and her dress.
Oh my God.
So
this is the moment you need to stop listening and start watching this podcast because you're going to see Rue McClanahan's dress and she's so cute.
Yeah, you need to stop. What is it? Stop something and start getting real.
That's
what did they say
world.
in the real world? Yeah, what did they say?
Wait, hold on. It's when we stop being polite and start getting real, the real world.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Seattle,
the real world,
or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Stephanie already doesn't like Vivian because Maude's like, this is my best friend.
Yeah.
But then when she finds out that Vivian is a lot like the other women at the party, like she dotes on her husband, she gets his permission to do that stuff. Like she really, really doesn't like her. And so we're going to kind of play this moment where, again, Maude is stuck in the middle, but you have to see what these women are wearing.
With you.
I thought that too.
Yeah.
So B is wearing like this black long sleeve kind of like collared dress.
Very B. Arthur 70s.
Like, very B. Arthur with like a red and green and gold plaid vest that runs all the way down. It's almost like two like runners for your rug.
Yeah.
And then Rue's in this long green dress, again, Wicked vibes. And it's like the fabric, it just sort of reminds me of one of Blanche's silk nightgowns. It was, they just looked so gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah. Should we play the clip?
Yeah, let's play it.
Okay, this is my Wicked. Ah!
Oh, Maude, I guess this is what Christmas is all about, getting together with your dearest friends.
This is a wonderful Christmas, isn't it?
Adorable.
Oh, Stephanie, it must be terrible for you being away from your husband on Christmas Eve. I'm just never away from Arthur, except, of course, when he goes off on his fishing trips. But, you know, that's different. A man needs his outside activities. Oh.
Snap your garters over here and say hello to Walter.
Isn't he cute? Well, excuse me, my lord and master calls. Coming, sweetmeat.
Coming, sweetmeat. It's so funny. I love my lord and master calls. Like, it is just so, it's so, I don't know. I feel like, okay, this is me. I feel like I'm at a party like this, right? And I'm not going to go, I never will go for the hottest person in the room because I need to talk about them to somebody else. So I'm not going to go for them. I'm never going to go to the most ornery looking person in the room, which probably would have been Maude and Stephanie. So because they're just, it's going to be too deep. I'm going to go to the McClanahans in the room. I'm going to go to the girl who is probably going to have, seems like she's going to have a fun time. She's done herself up. Her boobs are probably propped up. We're going to talk about makeup. We're going to talk about men. We're going to talk about sex. And we're going to talk about food. Those are the things I want to talk about at a holiday party. And Rue McClanahan in this episode is my ideal conversation partner.
Yeah, you would have made a beeline for her.
Yeah, fully.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I also love the look on Maude's face at the end of the scene. Like, ooh.
Yeah, she has.
It's like so broad.
Yeah, it is
so broad
big.
city. It is
right.
so broad.
Oh.
So Maude again she's sensing the tension between the party guests, between Stephanie, between Vivian and Stephanie and Walter and Stephanie. So she's like, all right, she decides she's going to distract from all the tension by announcing a Christmas game, which is not holiday themed at all. No. But they're going to play dictionary, where somebody picks a word from the dictionary that no one knows, and everybody has to write down what they think it means.
Yeah.
And I was thinking maybe we could do it right now.
Oh,
if
sure.
I'm going to look up a hard word, and I'm not going to look up the definition.
Do I have to look up a word too, or should I be Maude?
No, I'm just going to give us one.
Okay.
We're going to play the game, and then we're going to.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Okay, I need to do this so I can't see it. Okay. Antediluvian. Antediluvian. Antediluvian.
Diluvian. I feel like the father in My Big Fat Greek Wedding, where he was like, well, you see, the root of diluvian is delusional. Greek. There you have it. No, but it's not that. Antediluvian. It sounds
not anti.
Antediluvian.
Antediluvian.
Antediluvian. I'm going to say it means a delusional state that sends you into a tizzy.
Ooh, I like that. Okay. Yeah. Antediluvian. I'm going to say it has something to do with like a building structure.
Oh,
like something really boring. Like, oh, how many did you put wires up along the antediluvian?
Oh, yeah. Watch out for the falling antediluvian. Antediluvians.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Antediluvian. It means.
What does it mean? Is it a body part? It's a body part.
We were both. Oh, a body part actually sounds good because it sounds like duodenum, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. Antediluvian, of or relating to the period before the biblical flood.
Oh, there's a lot of probably Christians out there who are like, you idiots.
You antediluviums. Okay. Well,
wait, that's it? That's what it means?
That's it. Of or relating to the period before the biblical flood.
How is it used in a sentence? Do you have a sentence there?
Let me see.
Because that's how we learn.
Oh, it's often humorously used to describe something really, really old. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
You're struggling.
Okay, so it is an adjective. So extremely old as seeming to belong to an earlier period. So here it is used in a sentence, which isn't going to clear things up at all. A ramshackle antediluvian tenement.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Antediluvian ideas. So it's basically another way of saying like antiquated or archaic.
Old. Okay.
Old.
Oh, I like that then. Oh, we've all learned something today. Thank you, Kerri. That's wonderful.
People may say that the actors on the Golden Girls were real antediluvium.
Don't
but
call
I tell
us,
you what.
Don't call us antediluvium because
Don't
we're
call
only
us
28.
Antediluvium.
We're only 28 years old. Thank you.
And we're not ageist.
Yeah, I got Jackie hair from season 3 of Roseanne.
That's right. And I'm wearing a hat that says executive produced by Dick Wolf. So again, old man, he's an antediluvium.
Yep.
But I would never say that to his face. I would really like to come work for you someday.
Dunham.
So in the episode of Maude, the word that they choose is hagiography.
What did that end up meaning? I forget.
Oh, I didn't look it up, but that must have been a fun game for the writers to play to say like, okay, let's find a word that's going to fit this joke. So, Adrienne Barbeau says it, I think, or maybe not. I can't remember if she says it.
No, I think she does. I think you're right. Yeah.
Hagiography, the writing of the lives of saints. I wonder if that was before or after the biblical flooding.
Again, there you have it. Greek.
Oh, so this game ends up because a lot of the men in the room make a lot of jokes as to what hagiography means. One is like, oh, I know what that means. It's a biography of my wife. And then another guy's like, oh, if it was a biography of my wife, it would be called nagiography.
Quite literally, everything turns into a Jeff Foxworthy bit. I mean, even a Ray Romano bit. Like, it just turns into like, can you believe my wife? Like a Rodney Dangerfield bit. Ho!
You're Rodney Dangerfield and you're Al Pacino, or they're just a little similar.
Everything goes back to Al Pacino.
Everything goes back to Al Pacino.
Yeah.
So Stephanie is getting really, really upset by all of the men making these jokes about their wives. And as she's lecturing everyone, Maude comes downstairs dressed as Santa Claus.
Now, can I say, I need to break down.
Santa.
First off, I love old school Santa depictions because Santa, the idea, the felt that is used in the Santa Claus costumes now, and the fur and stuff, it all hasn't really changed that much since the 1980s. You know what I mean? They all have the curly beard with the long it's all long and curly and like obnoxiously white to the point where it like is not realistic. Whereas it seems like everything before 1980 Santa got car dirt, snow splashed on it. It's just there's a hue of brown and gray. It has a hue of alcoholic, you know.
The fur is matted.
The fur is matted, and it's a little and how B. Arthur wore this Santa costume is so funny to me because she didn't wear the beard really, where she wore it under her chin so that there was no mustache or anything because she would not do anything to distract from her face, and she had a little bit of padding, yes, but it still was cinched to the point where you saw a waist. There was a waist
and
on
you
the outfit.
could see boob. You could see like shape.
So you could tell B. Arthur had more of an. This is like Lisa Kudrow in The Comeback when she was getting her costume for The Comeback put together. Like she had her involvement, you can tell, was intense in terms of the specificity.
There was tailoring.
Yeah, totally.
I agree. I liked the Dirty Santa costume because you know what? Santa is going down chimneys full of soot.
Yep.
He's haphazardly landing on rooftops.
Santa is
like he's doing it in one night. Santa should be filthy. Yeah, filthy. Dirty Santa. Catch me, catch me.
You dirty birdie.
Dirty Santa.
Dirty.
So
catch me.
She has a great line where, and again, I feel like Stephanie really is like, Stephanie was annoying to me at this point.
Oh yeah,
when she went up to Maude, I was like on Stephanie's side up until this point.
Me too. There was a part of me that I got annoyed by Stephanie, but also I was like, but I agree with her politics. You know what she reminded me of? She reminded me of Sunny Hostin on The View. I watch The View every single morning. I love The View. The View is I watch it after my Gayle King on CBS mornings. And I agree with Sunny Hostin on most things, her outlook on stuff. Like I agree with her and what she has to say. Anna Navarro is the same thing. I agree with her logic most of the time, but the execution of the logic, a lot of times I'm like, I'm exhausted. Just stop. I get it. I agree with you, but I also feel attacked by you. Why?
But also, I just want to enjoy something. Just one thing. I just want to enjoy it.
Can I have that as one thing, please?
So yeah, Stephanie was annoying to me at this point because Maude comes downstairs and Stephanie's
dressed as Santa.
She goes, I can't believe you're dressed like that. And I actually really like Maude's joke. Maude's like, why? Did another woman come to the party dressed in the same outfit? Like,
it was
great
good.
Joke.
It was good.
And Stephanie's lecturing her and Maude has finally had it. She's like, look, Stephanie, you are ruining the party. You're ruining this, you're ruining that. And most importantly, you ruined my entrance in this Santa suit.
That's most important.
But at the same time, and this is where I really, really appreciated this moment. And I feel like this is where the show was really, really brilliant in that Maude could have just had a blow up at Stephanie in this moment and cussed her out in front of everyone and then apologized to her. But no, she, in the same breath where she's like, you're ruining the party, in the same breath, she's like, but I also want the women and the men at this party to know why what you have to say has merit. And then she has a great monologue and B. Arthur is delivering it dressed in a Santa suit. And that's amazing.
She looks so
Norman
good.
Lear, you're the best. Let's play that moment.
Okay.
I mean, all Stephanie is working for is for our dignity and our future as women, which we deserve. And if we put her down, who loses? Who? We do. You don't believe me? Wait until tomorrow, when we're celebrating that biggest of holidays all across the country. We wives will be in the kitchen, cooking and stuffing and washing and wiping while our husbands are off in the living room watching football and pouring beer down the sides of their faces.
She just paints a picture of beer on the side of their faces. She's just so good. B. Arthur is so good at this role. There's a reason why she won Emmys and was brilliant at it. Like, she's just so good. You guys should watch this episode. It's really good.
It's so good. I told Stan, I was like, I want you to watch it. It's so funny. And she gets an applause break in this moment.
Yeah.
And again, I love the way that Maude handled this. And I thought
I agree.
It was really, really, I just thought for a sitcom, it was a really, really smart way to make Maude feel really three-dimensional and
because everyone can relate to this character. And especially, again, I'm going back to that time because I feel like the time and place this episode aired is actually really, really important to consider. Like, I feel like a lot of women, particularly women, were struggling in this moment to find that balance between dealing with the husband that might be a little old school in a not so great way, but then also having more quote unquote liberated friends that were pressuring her to believe and think in a different way, which is great. but she's having to find the balance. She's having to find some kind of balance. And right now, I'm sure even people listening to this, there are many Americans who are having to find a balance between family members whose political beliefs might be different than theirs, or maybe even in their households. And they have to figure out how to have communication and find value and love and whatever in these people that maybe they think differently from. And it's that balance, and that time that Maude was living in was just as polarized as the time we're living in now. So I think it's very relevant for now.
Yeah, I agree. And also just what a great way for Maude to like stand up for what she believes in.
Yeah.
Because, you could have played it in a way where, Maude was so worried about, Walter's employees and the Christmas party going well that all that stuff became more important than her values, but nothing ever became more important than her values.
Yeah.
And I thought she explained it to everyone in a way that wasn't lecturing, that wasn't kind of putting people down and judging people the way that maybe when Stephanie is trying to get her point across, she is. Yeah. So Maude sort of like became her mouthpiece, which was really nice. And at the end of the episode, like there was peace on earth. They all sing Deck the Halls around the piano.
Deck the halls with... Sorry.
Can't afford it. Well, maybe we could afford it. It's probably public domain. I don't know.
That's public domain, yeah. But yeah, whatever. But yeah, it was a fun episode. I really think everyone should watch this episode. It's so fun. It's really festive. I mean, the quality on YouTube is bad. So, I could not find it to purchase on anything either. Like I only saw season 1 and season 2 available to purchase on Prime Video and Apple and stuff. Yeah. So like it might be hard to find. You might have to get the DVDs and go old school. But guess what? Still worth it if you have to.
Analog all the way, baby.
Analog, baby. Get that VHS. Well, should we take a break and come back with some golden takeaways?
Let's.
Yay. Deck the halls with Santa's balls. And we are back with our golden takeaways, which is a nugget, or should I say, what's a Christmas thing? What's a Christmas nugget relation? A nugget of
a chunk of coal.
Oh, a chunk of coal or inspiration that you can apply to your life or the lives of our listeners. Kerri, what's your coal? What's your nugget of coal from this episode?
My nugget of coal is after watching the final scene where everybody's singing Deck the Halls and sitting around the piano. Again, I know this is not something that you want, and I'm not saying you ever have to give this to me, but something I would really like. And this goes to my love for the carolers earlier. I want to bring people sitting around at a piano and playing Christmas music and singing. I want to bring that back to holiday parties because, I feel like we've all, we got our Spotifys, we've got our Apple playlists, and we play our Christmas music and we play our Mariahs and whatnots and our Feliz Navidades. I really want to get back to people singing around a piano together.
Wow.
I really want to be at a holiday party where that happens.
That sounds like my nightmare.
I know. It's funny how certain things that I love are your worst nightmare, and maybe vice versa in some situations.
Yeah, being around lots of children would be like when you have to do a daycare thing, that would stress me out.
Oh, like when I parent, when I volunteer every week at Little Oreos preschool. Yeah.
That would be too much for me. I one-on-one is when I can do it. But I support it. I just don't want anyone singing at me. You know what I mean? Like, not like I've been singing at you throughout this episode.
Yeah, not like that.
Oh, well, my golden nugget or my golden coal from this episode is that I just love a sitcom holiday episode. And there's literally even bad sitcoms. I will sit and I will watch a holiday themed episode and I'll enjoy it no matter how bad it is. Home Improvement. I will watch bad or good, and it's just fun. It's just fun. So I love a good deep dive into And it also, like, in a weird way, like the Lucy themed Christmas episode, the Christmas special, it's oddly like, I mean, I love history and we all know it, but like there's something special about watching like a Christmas episode from 1976 of a particular sitcom or whatever. And you really get a sense, because so much of sitcoms are what's happening in life at that moment in the world, you know, and you get a sense of sort of where people were at in terms of just like television and what they were watching at that moment. And it's kind of exciting and thrilling for anyone who loves TV and movies and stuff as much as I do. Like, it really takes you back to a particular time, and that's fun for me. So that's my golden coal.
That's a nice nugget coal takeaway. It also reminds me that for anyone who is maybe a newer listener, if you go back to our December 2023 podcast episodes, we also did holiday themed episodes. So we watched B. Arthur in the Star Wars holiday special.
That was
fun.
We
watched Betty White in a really great Christmas episode of Mary Tyler Moore Show. We watched Betty White in a really great made for TV Christmas movie with Tony Danza and Leah Thompson.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of what the fourth holiday themed thing was. I can't remember, but
I can't either.
We did a lot of fun holiday themed stuff. So if you are itching for more, or if you just want to go back and re-listen, those were really, really fun to do last holiday season.
Yeah. Last holiday, last Christmas, I gave you my heart. Singing at you again.
You've been singing so much for someone who does not like music or for to be sung at. You do sing quite a lot on this podcast.
Because I do it well.
You do. I like it. Well, everyone, this has been another episode of Out on the Lanai. We will catch you back here next week for more of our gorgeous Gigi holiday coverage. Next week's episode is going to be amazing. We have a really, really fun guest. We are watching a Golden Girls Christmas episode. It's going to be so great. Don't forget to check out the Gigi VIP Club over at patreon.com/Golden Girls podcast. You can also follow us on YouTube, where we drop video versions of the episodes the Monday after the episode is released.
That's true. We're also a part of Mom, Moguls of Media. So go on and give Mom Plus a little tippy. And you can find us on social media at Golden Girls Pod on the Xels and the Tweetsels, Out on the Lanai officials on the Instagramsies, but with consent, Golden Girls Pod on the Facebooksies, and I'm HAlanScott /Sadie Pines on everything else's.
And I'm Squidsy on Instagram and Squid Eat Squid on Twitter. And if you want to do something else lovely for the podcast, you can leave us a rating and a review wherever you get this podcast, because that helps more people discover this podcast and join our lovely kick-ass community of Golden Girls fans.
And remember,
as always,
stay golden.
Stay golden.
Stay golden. Stay colden. Get it?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That was a good one. Yeah.
Thank you. I get paid for this. Nothing. I don't really.
Out on the Lanai is not endorsed by Whit Thomas Harris Productions, Touchstone Television, Disney, or any of its subsidiaries. It is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only.
All names, pictures, audio, and video clips of the Golden Girls are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of their respective trademark and/or copyright holders.